Hello everyone, friends. This is Mozart. In general, Bitcoin has broken through $65,000. My protective limit order was triggered. Just to remind you, it was set at the level of 65 to 190. And right here, well, probably the entire, if not the weekly fate, then the fate from the weekly time frame will be decided. This local top will be determined precisely at this point. Well, approximately in this range. So what I mean is whether it will be set or if the movement will continue upward. It's a quite important level. We need to see how today's day closes and whether the bears can develop a corrective movement. So the high was at 65 to 800 and now it has pulled back a bit just by 800 bucks, which is not significant. For the bulls, the main thing is to close above. The minimum target today is above this high. That is the minimum goal. If they can achieve this, it will set a good precedent to continue this movement even in the event of a correction. I don't yet know how this candle will close, and I don't want to guess. If it does close positively, and moreover, if the week, which has 3 days left, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, plus a bit of Thursday, also closes above the mark of $65,000, 65 to 200. Then this double bottom will effectively be closed, which is a reversal pattern. The target I mentioned in the last video, the minimum target, is $75,000 right there. Regardless of whether this figure closes or not, I am still expecting Bitcoin to reach $75,000 in the medium term. The question is whether this growth will come from the current levels or if we will pull back to the 200 moving average or even deeper for a retest of something more serious, like the 50 moving average before moving up. In any case, 75,000 is currently on the horizon. From my point of view, it is quite likely that we will see these numbers. They are not high numbers right now. Until the end of the year, it is quite likely. Well, that's the minimum target for me regarding Bitcoin. This is in terms of the daily chart. So again, referring back to the recent review, this is the current picture. On the 4-hour chart, we continue to update the highs, however. The indicator has not shown much strength and continues to create highs that are lower than the previous ones. So, if we consider this movement as a divergence, it is strengthening, but I repeat, this divergence is not pronounced. It is weak and can be resolved even within the current sideways movement. However, if the bulls were to take out all this liquidity here, and there, then the divergence would be resolved with a spike somewhere up here, above the first high, from where the divergence started. And judging by the price, this should be a shot somewhere, at least 2 or 4. Perhaps even closer to the mark of $70,000, somewhere over there. I don't rule out such a scenario. I don't know really. Because on the daily chart, the price is in a sideways movement and has been hovering around its basic moving averages for a long time. And I can't currently guarantee or even speak with any reasonable degree of probability about whether it will go up or down. In the medium term, it's upward. I've been saying this for a long time and have been waiting for it. In the short term, looking at the daily chart, I have protected myself. I have hedged with a short at 65 to 190, with a trigger stop at a close above the mark of 68 to 500. That's it. I'm not interested in anything else. But again, with this short position, I am protecting my long portfolio, which, by the way, has already recovered quite well. I'm talking about the public long portfolio. The last time I showed it to you, the yield had decreased to 17% on the total investment. It has now recovered. This is definitely the same table for the same hashtag table. Plus 27.3%, meaning it has increased by 10% due to the recent rise in the market. I want to see at least a mark of 30%, preferably 50%, in order to make further decisions, because there are still coins that have recovered very little and their potential is much higher, like C98, for example. The potential for growth is high, the potential for FET is high, and Litecoin has an astronomical potential. Judging by how much it is accumulating, it could shoot straight to 240 in one go. I don't know, somewhere in that direction. In one shot that won't even stop to allow for reentry. And tomorrow I will check. If the price closes above the high, meaning a double bottom will be formed, I might not wait for that stop and just exit at the current prices. In any case, there is also a long position open on Ethereum, as you know. And in the near future, if we consider any trades, I am currently providing a lot of trades in the Telegram channel, specifically in this trading channel. There are many short-term trades there. Those who trade. No, we've made a decent profit from all these fragments lately. In the general channel, I plan to provide only Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana for now, maximum Solana. Well, as for the most stable assets right now, they are more predictable than all the other altcoins, so that I don't have to bear this share of responsibility for everything in general. Next, Total Tree is interesting, right? Remember, in the previous video, I talked about the importance of the $620 billion mark, meaning that Total 3 is currently trying to break through it. This is a key point. And I remind you, if the week closes above the mark of $620 billion, this will also serve as a good reversal signal with potential targets based on the same double bottom at approximately $720 billion. Well, that's a reasonable goal. Quite logical, actually. There won't be any problems going there. It's April, and this is a surge that Bitcoin has long since surpassed. Some altcoins have surpassed it as well, and many memes have also eclipsed this surge. But most of the market did not cover this. This is evident from Total 3. And at the very least, going there and closing would be the ideal scenario. Well, it's the one I expect the most. But I will repeat, we are waiting for the close of this week and seeing where it closes. If it reaches $620 billion, that would be great. In that case, the risk can be increased. The risk can be increased. Plus, I remind you that today I also wrote in the Telegram channel, let's look at something from China. See how their chart is skyrocketing. That is, these are their overall indices. This is the daily chart. By the way, literally from September 12th, over 2 weeks, plus 22%. This is a crazy rise. In my opinion, this growth has broken all records since 2020, when some endless stimulus measures were announced. And this, by the way, also creates a plus for volatile assets, as it increases global liquidity in the system. Why is this important? Simply, I already wrote about this today, but let me show you visually. Here is Bitcoin. Let me show you like this, on a clean chart. Damn, this isn't a clean chart either. Alright, I'll delete all of this. And here, I added it at the bottom right before the review specifically for you to take a look. The chart of global liquidity in the system, World Liquidity Index. You see, it is growing. It is currently rising, and recently there has been a convergence, a coming together. The price of Bitcoin is overall declining. That is, lower highs, lower lows, while the liquidity chart is rising, and the fund is growing as well. This divergence is likely to be resolved according to the rules of technical analysis. And it has worked out. This global flag, which I have talking about, is visible on the weekly chart, and with the last high, this one. If we look at how Bitcoin is performing, it is very well handling liquidity. It literally moves along with the liquidity. So, a year ago, there was a drop in August, September, and we can see that liquidity also fell. For example, the drop in January. Yes, there is the share of Bitcoin ETF acceptance, but liquidity has also adjusted. Next, the drawdown of June 23rd and liquidity here. Then, the drawdown, the banking crisis of March 23rd, and liquidity here in the drawdown. So, the historical lows for Bitcoin, in the sense of this cycle, are not the lowest in this cycle. The lowest are the biggest drawdown in liquidity. That is, the correlation of global liquidity with the risky asset, which is still Bitcoin, is very high, very. And now, I repeat, we see what is called convergence. When we walked around, we grew, then continued to move sideways, while Bitcoin was somewhat declining at that time, meaning it was unloading indicators, and liquidity continued to rise, while the price of Bitcoin kept falling. Convergence, price down, indicator up. This means that this spring is being compressed, and it is quite likely that we are currently witnessing the beginning of this shot, when this money will finally start flowing into assets, especially after the market positively reacted to the 0.5% rate cut by the Fed, and after China injects nearly $150 billion into the system. This poses a risk in the markets. From my point of view, this should be utilized by the end of the year. It should be used both in the context of a good profitable exit from the medium-term portfolio that I have built, and in the context of new medium-term trades as well as short-term ones. In principle, the profit could be quite good. It is very likely that the market phase I have been waiting for the last 5 months is starting. It has been a long wait, the first time such a lengthy correction period has occurred after the halving, but it is quite possible that this is it. In any case, I will keep you updated and record videos, and everything will be fine. I won't leave you without analysis. If there are any entries or exits, I will let you know as well. Well, I'll let you know, either on Telegram or on YouTube. Thank you all. That's how it goes. This was Mozart, and goodbye to everyone.